Hello. I am your Empress Divine Miss Tasha Turner herself. Welcome to Queendom Come. Sagittarius, I am so sorry for that janky reading that I recorded at the end of last week. There was a storm rolling in, like the skies were completely like gray and it was so dark, and I knew it was about to start raining, but I did not know that it was about to be an outage in my internet. That's what I didn't know. It was about to start raining, but I did not know that. Hopefully, I'm talking loud enough that y'all don't mind the children in the background because I'm at the playground and they're not going to be quiet. Not a whole lot more than, they currently are. So if you don't like the sound of children, I'm so sorry. It's best to go ahead and click off now. But if you can withstand it to get this message, then keep watching. So I'm redoing the Sagittarius full month reading for January. I am committed to doing all of the signs for January. I don't care if it is January 29th by the time they all get posted. I'm going to do them all because time is an illusion. Time is also fluid. So whenever you watch the reading, that is when it is for you. So let's go ahead and get your goddess guidance card pulled, or cards pulled, and see what's going on. And yes, I did delete the other Sagittarius reading. I'm sorry, y'all. It was so janky. Like the connection kept going in and out. It cut off before I was done with the reading, and the connection wouldn't come back up until like 2 hours later. So I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna keep that. I'm not gonna keep that up there. I'm gonna do right by Sagittarius and do another one. Because my midheaven is in Sagittarius, and shoot, I want to know what's going on too. I want a complete clear reading too. So Goddess Guidance for Sagittarius, January 2019. Goddess Guidance, Sagittarius, January 2019. Give us a message that Sagittarius needs most. Make it clear, make it plain, make it applicable. May it resonate with as many Sagittarius as possible. Sun, moon, rising, shoot, midheaven, like myself, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, whatever. Ascended, descended, all of that. Goddess guidance for Sagittarius. And we have endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can enter. That old reading had to be released so this one can come forth. And other things could be following in the same tempo. We also have guardian here. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. So those transitions that you're going through, not Aquarius, Lord, you may be dealing with an Aquarius, or an Aquarius is significant. We're also in Aquarius season now. So, whatever you're going through, Sagittarius, just know that you're okay. Don't fret about letting something go. It's so hard to let things go sometimes. I think Sagittarius is better at it than most of us, but it's so hard to let things go sometimes. And a lot of the times it's actually necessary for you to create space in your life for newness. And in that period between letting something go or losing something, because it's even harder to lose something than it is to let it go, because at least letting go means you've done it on your own terms. Losing something is even harder. But know that whatever the situation is, you are safe and you're spiritually protected. And if you're spiritually protected, it's only a matter of time before you see favor and grace in action in your physical life. So let's pull these cards back and get into the tarot. Okay. My beautiful tarot card. Give us something good. We're tapping into divine knowledge, infinite intelligence, divine wisdom, spirituality. Come forth. Whatever message needs to be given to Sagittarius at this time. Whatever message needs to come to Sagittarius at this time. Please come forth. Come forth, come forth. Sagittarius, January 2019. Sagittarius, January 2019. Sagittarius, January 2019. January 2019 for Sagittarius. Okay, we have the Chariot, the Ten of Cups, Ace of Cups, the Tower, Knight of Coins, Nine of Staffs, Three of Swords, Eight of Staffs, Two of Cups, the World, the Emperor, and the Eight of Swords. And yes, some of them are cut off, but as always, I'll go through and talk about them, and I'll show you, close-ups of the card so you can get a look at it yourself and see what's going on and how the card resonates with you. So I do see quite a bit of big energies, and that tends to be the case when you are at the point where a cycle is ending and something else is beginning. Um, to start off, we have the Chariot. So whatever's happening in January or what has happened so far for you, this is a part of your spiritual journey. This is all something that you are needing to confront. It could also mean that some movement is finally happening, or you're on the verge of making a movement towards something or away from something. Strength here. If you're moving away from something, it could have to do with the ego. Like if a situation, sometimes it feels like it's a little bit too hard to handle. It feels like, things are getting tough. You're feeling yourself continuously triggered. A lot of it has to do with ego. So for some of you, it'll be something that you're moving away from because it's triggering you so much. And the triggering is actually kind of pointing at a place in you that you need to heal, in a place where you may be letting ego drive you more so than your soul. Now, for other people, that strength and the Chariot, both being major arcana energies, mean that there is a strong push for you to move forward from something. And maybe it's good that you use your ego, to move forward, because with this Four of Coins card, I'm feeling like it's a time where you have to hold on to yourself more than usual, where you have to pay more attention to your own affairs and pay more attention to your own self-worth and what you are allowing in your life. I think there's going to be a time where you maybe stop giving so much and only focus on giving to yourself, and that in itself is a part of that a cycle ending. Like you may have been someone that people depended on, and I get that from that Leo energy. Leo tend to be family people, and if a Leo has it in their pocket, pretty much is yours if they love you. But you may be moving away from a place where you have to give to other people. So some folks may be calling you stingy, you know what I'm saying, in January. Or they may be feeling like maybe you weren't there for them the way they expected you to be. Or maybe they're asking things of you, and because you don't willingly volunteer, they may feel some type of way. But what you need to know is that if a relationship ends because you're not able to meet someone's every need, then there's some codependency there. And codependency, I feel like, is hinted at with the Cancer card. There's some codependency there where maybe they need to be a little bit stronger on their own and need to learn how to live without you so much. It could be vice versa. Maybe it's you that need to get away from a situation, and kind of you need to learn to do things on your own and not, depend on someone else so much. But I'm really feeling like it's the other party or other parties, because Sagittarius is a pretty independent energy. So unless you're just overpowered by other energies, in your birth chart, then Sagittarius is pretty good with venturing out on their own. Here in the second card placement, we have the Ten of Cups. You're focusing on your fulfillment. You're focusing on what's going to make you happiest in life. Something may have triggered you to really start focusing on what's going to make you happy. You really want to just get your affairs in order. And I feel like the more you focus on fulfilling yourself, the quicker these things can come in that you manifest, and the more you're able to give to other people. Along with that Ten of Cups here is the King of Staffs. So it's like you're really narrowing your focus. Your energy is not all over the place. Sometimes Sagittarius likes to be wild and have fun and go with the flow and just be like a party type of fiery energy. I feel like a lot of people will be kind of dialing back on that energy, and that could be the cause of some relationships coming to kind of like a dwindling, or even a complete stop or an end. That could be part of the things that you're having to give up, because maybe you're just not that quote unquote life of the party for someone or for some people anymore. And it's because you just want to get yourself together. You can't play all day. Everybody can't play all day. Some people actually have things that they want to do, knowledge that they want to seek, plans that they want to build, things like that. So it's like you're really just focusing in on your fulfillment. And I think you're learning to be more confident about it. Like as you focus more on your goals and finding those things that fulfill you and making sure that, you feel fulfilled inwardly and therefore can fulfill yourself outwardly, you become a lot more balanced emotionally. And I mean, as a result of it, you can actually be a more open person. Sagittarius, you may find yourself being more comfortable with emotions than usual here in January. And that's because you're doing so much work on yourself that is like you can kind of relate to deeper emotions that you may not normally relate to. In the third card position, we have the Ace of Cups. I think spirituality is on your mind a lot, or those deeper topics, those deeper subjects. I'm feeling a Scorpio type of energy. And Scorpio is a water sign, so it does line up with that cup's energy. But I'm feeling a more like a scorpion vibe. So you may be dealing with a Scorpio or being influenced by a Scorpio, or have it somewhere in your chart. But it's like I was saying, you're becoming more familiar or more comfortable with deeper topics, with more emotional topics. And it may be more not necessarily saying that you're going to be like sulking and sappy and depressed or you cry easily, but it's like you understand the more tender side of life. It's like you stop and think sometimes. Sagittarius has a reputation of saying things that kind of cut like a knife, almost like some air energy. Because I do feel like Sagittarius is airy fire, you know so sometimes you can kind of say things and you don't mean for it to cut people, but it's the truth. And I think more so than the harsh truth, you're learning to deliver the healing truth. I'll say that. The Hermit. Yeah, you're learning to be a lot more humble with your communication, and not saying that you're just this proud and, haughty type person, but you're just learning to be more tender and more understanding with your communication. I think that's definitely something that you're working on. It's a big focus of yours. I feel like Sagittarius. And again, it's not saying that you needed to change anything about you because necessarily what you were doing was wrong. I feel like you just feel like it's time to work on yourself. There's something that's causing Sagittarius to want to better themselves or to want to ascend to a different level, to a higher level. It may have had something to do with family. It could have been an unexpected death in the family, or because with that kind of lost energy that we talked about in the beginning, it could have been like a death in the family or a divorce. Sometimes those type of situations, the things that could, they seem like they're meant to break you, they're the ones that kind of allow tenderness to come into your life. It's like when you feel deeply and you hurt deeply, you are able to relate to other people's hurting more. Whether it be like losing a house or losing a job, or not, or being in a place where you're not able to provide for your home or to pay your bills or provide for your family, especially in light of like the government shutdown, like these unexpected events, they kind of crack you open. And when you're cracked open, I've seen a Rumi quote where it's like wherever you are broken, that's where the light is able to get in. So that's the type of situation that I'm feeling here with that Tower card in the fourth house. Yeah, something that you wouldn't necessarily want to happen did happen unexpectedly. And some of you may kind of still be in a phase or were recently in a phase of kind of like crying over spilled milk until you realize that, everything happens for a reason, until you start to see the changes within yourself. And when you realize that, I mean, ultimately is making you, or it has made you a better person, then you're like, okay, well, tower moments usually do that. They help you out. They help you to ascend. You become a much more spiritual person with the Hierophant. You see things from a much more spiritual place, or you have found yourself kind of led to religion. A lot of times when you have those situations, like, the quote unquote crying over spilled milk situations, where something happens and you can't help but feel the negative feelings around it, it's like as much as you try to look forward and as much as you try to, make yourself happy, as much as you try to focus on something else, you can't help but to feel the residual pain from a situation. And I feel like that residual pain is almost like what brought you to the cross. Is like what they call a come to God moment. And I do strongly feel like it has something to do with like your homestead, your household stability, or your family, your intimate surroundings. In the fifth card position, there's the Knight of Swords. I mean, not the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Coins. Now, the Knight of Coins comes bearing gifts. So, in some type of way, this situation or this downtime or the ending of a phase or of a cycle or ending of an era in your life has brought about some gift. For a lot of people, it will be that kind of gift of tenderness, or that gift of healing power, or an awareness of the divine, and that'll be your gift. But in some type of way, all of this has brought about a gift to you. Here we have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is kind of like what I feel support in a dark time. So the gift that a lot of Sagittarius are getting here is to become that person that people can count on for support when they're going through dark times. Heaven, no screaming. Yeah, a person that people can depend on in dark times, a person that they can turn to, a person that they know can support them. Also, maybe you are encountering somebody who is supporting you and who is there for you during your hard times, and they're offering you some support. I feel like that's tangible, something that you can hold. Maybe they're offering you rides to work, or they are helping watch the children while you go job hunt, or something like that, maybe even giving you money, in some cases, because with the fifth house, that does indicate like love and romance. It could be a friend of the opposite gender. And I do feel like it's the energy of just like a friend, even if there is some intimacy in there, some sexual relations in there. I'm ultimately feeling like it is the energy of a friend who is offering you some type of help or some type of support in a dark time. In this card position here, the sixth, we have the Nine of Staffs. um I think a lot of Sagittarius, if you are going through something or some recent tower moment, you find yourself asking, like, why me? And that goes back to that energy of kind of like that Five of Cups, crying over spilled milk, or allowing negative feelings to kind of linger a bit longer than they could, or than they would if you were more focused on healing or moving forward. There's something of a resistance I'm feeling, some type of resistance to forward movement. And it could be like kind of like PTSD victims, or PTSD survivors. I don't exactly know how to say it. People with PTSD, how they have a trauma, and the world is still full of opportunity, but they're almost afraid to go pursue anything for fear of experiencing that trauma again. So they would rather accept the bare minimum and play it safe rather than venture forth and get all that they can get out of life. So you may find yourself coming up against that. After you experience something hard, or you experience some type of loss of stability, you may experience that kind of resistance to moving forward. And I feel like on a day to day, that's the thing that you're battling with. I mean, life has so much to offer. What I need you to realize is that whatever that you're giving out and putting out into the universe, that is what you will receive back. For some, that'll mean that if some it was not so savory energy that you were giving out to people, I guess you could kind of expect some of that to be coming to you. But know that as soon as you shift your energy, you shift the things that you manifest into your life. So don't get caught up thinking that old karma is going to stop you from living your best life, or don't be afraid of trauma happening again. Because if you move forward in a positive direction and you are vibrating at a higher frequency, especially with the cards up here that says that you're more is like you're embodying a more tender energy now, a more caring and loving, understanding type energy, then you will run into people who are more caring and loving and considerate and patient with you. Yeah, I feel like that Ten of Swords energy, like um, mean words, beating a dead horse, that, oh, I told you so, or I knew that was going to happen, or, when people just kind of ride your back when you're already going through something or kick you when you're down. I feel like that kind of energy can be released now with the 10 here. That's the completion of a cycle. So, along with whatever happened and whatever you may have lost, or, whatever you may have had to let go, I feel like that's also something that's being let go here. And because it's being released from you, like you don't necessarily do it to people anymore because you've been quote unquote humbled. Because you don't do it to people, people won't necessarily do it to you with that Ten of Swords. And of course, there'll still be jackasses and assholes in the world, but for the most part, you won't draw that energy to yourself, that kind of mean spirited words and kind of beating a dead horse, kicking someone when they're down type energy. In the seventh card position, we have the Three of Swords, which is disappointment. So in some type of way, like I was saying, it's like either a disappointment because you couldn't provide for people that you were like in intimate relationships with, and that can be in love or also family. The people in your house are, people that you are in an intimate relationship with. So it can be a disappointment. You can be asking like, why did this happen? Like, what did we do to deserve this? I thought everything was going well, or I thought that person was well. I never knew that they were that sick where, they would pass so quickly, or, I thought the job was secure, because it can be work relationships too, and maybe someone else was chosen to keep their position and you were let go, or something like that. So there's some type of disappointment here, I feel, and a feeling that you kind of deserve more than what you're getting right now. And I feel that. I definitely feel that, because any lack that you may be experiencing is all an illusion. Whenever you go through a period of not feeling like you have enough, what it's kind of urging you to do is to look elsewhere for the resources that you can use to gain, that you can use for increase. And whenever you experience lack around you, that's also an indicator of a place within yourself where you may not feel good enough, or you feel like you don't deserve the best, or something within you that is basically emanating the energy of not attracting abundance, pretty much. But you have the Nine of Coins on top of that. So, whatever disappointments you feel, whatever lacking period you feel like, it's basically when you hit rock bottom, all you can do is go up from there. And I feel like it happens pretty quickly with that nine energy. You jump from these lower numbers all the way up to almost a 10. So I feel like it's on the verge of you being able to get yourself back on the come up, you know. And you could have some assistance somewhere. Like I said, you may have that friend who's helping you out here, or you may be attracting somebody, or somebody sees your work ethic as you work to build things back up, and they pitch in some help, or you're able to find some place that offers assistance that helps you. But I feel like for the most part, you may kind of seek some assistance, or you may seek somebody to help you. But the energy that I'm feeling is like you don't even know that you have as much grace and favor in your life as you do. And that goes back to that guardian card here, which says that you're spiritually protected, you and your loved ones. So whatever you feel like is missing, like, you have to know that it's an illusion. You have to know that it's illusion. What the Nine of Coins, that's what's real. And that's what you have to continue to focus on. And that's where you have to direct your energy. The Ace of Staffs, because with that Knight of Coins and the Ace of Staffs here, the Ace can be a 1, so that's pretty much making a 10 here. So you are working on, or you're focusing on getting back on your feet, getting things back in order. You're not ignoring anymore bill collectors, phone calls. It's like you're trying to get your affairs together, and someone somewhere, without you even knowing, is giving you some type of leniency or some type of favor or some type of grace. It could be in the form of like making payment arrangements and being able to keep your things, or somebody giving you a longer grace period or some type of extension on bills. um, It's in a number of ways. People who you may borrow money from, but it's not really borrowing. You go to tell them, "Well, I'm gonna make sure I pay you back," and it's like, no, you good, because I see what you're trying to do for yourself, so I don't mind investing in you. It could be people investing in you because you invest in yourself, but either way, you're getting a boost here. And when you have that Ace of Staffs energy, it's a big boost. It's almost like I've been saying, that unforeseen grace, that unforeseen favor, where things are going your way, and you don't even know it. It's like a blessing that happens to you that propels you forward.
That little guy hit my sister.
Okay, we can't do that anymore.
That's what he did to my sister. He did that to my sister.
Okay, we can't do that anymore. I see, baby, you got it all in your hair. Okay, okay, y'all. I'm recording. I'm sorry, Sagittarius. Please be patient with me. Okay, so we have the Eight of Staffs in the eighth card position. And as far as like deep transformations, just like I was saying, is like you're not ignoring things, you're completely alive and awake, and you're getting your stuff together. You're doing what you need to do, not ignoring any bills. You're calling, companies, kind of trying to see if you can get a payment arrangement made. Um, just really attending to what it is that you need to get in order, making sure that you are turning things around and not letting anything get any worse. If it's in terms of like having lost somebody, then you're the person that is kind of keeping the family together and making sure that all of the arrangements are made and making sure that everyone's okay, and still somehow managing to tend to yourself as well. So that's major energy, staying focused on something positive. Like I said, with the Three of Cups, is like you could be the one that's keeping things together, keeping family together, keeping the household together while y'all go through a rough patch or a rough period, waiting until your blessings start pouring back in. You're just helping everybody transition. Like I was saying, with that endings and beginnings card, is like there's going to be a period where things may not seem so stable, but I feel like you, Sagittarius, are the energy that's helping everybody move into the next phase. Then we have in the 10th card position, not the 10th, the ninth card position, the Two of Cups. I really feel like that's a spiritual indicator as well. If there is a party that has been assisting you through the rough times, is like you may find yourself feeling like, this is somebody who you could spend your life with, or who could be a soulmate. If they've really been by your side through thick and thin, is like you're realizing just how important that person is, and realizing the divinity within that person. It could be a twin flame type of situation. Either you or the other party, because this could all be Sagittarius helping somebody else who's going through all of this. Or it could be somebody who's been helping you through all of this. And it's like, something clicks, and this person is like, dang, like, I really love this person. Like, they loved me. They've shown me so much love. They were there when I was at my worst or when I was on my last, and they still stuck by me. And, it was never any hesitation. It was never any doubt. I never had to wonder if this person had my back. And it's like, wow, I realized how much that I've depended on you. And, through depending on someone through a dark time, that forms a bond that people don't tend to forget, anytime soon. And a lot of times that type of situation or that type of bonding through traumatic events leads to long-term relationships, if not marriage. So that's something. And then we have the death card here. And death, of once again, through the rough times, through the hard times, through my losses, through the painful endings, through letting things go, having that support here, it brings you closer to somebody through the death. And when a death happens, a life happens somewhere else. So some situation happened and everything was lost, or everything had to be let go. And from that, something else was sparked. One of the things that could have been sparked from that is a relationship, a new love, a soulmate connection, or a twin flame reunion could have been sparked from that. Now, in the 10th card position, I have the world, and the world is like opening yourself up to something new, not being afraid of anything, opening yourself up, expecting something new, total completion of a cycle. Once again, there's that theme of, cycles completing. And then we have the Seven of Swords that wanted to come on out and clarify that. Now, the Seven of Swords, along with the world, to me, tells me that things are not as they seem. So just as I've been saying, like, of course, it's hard when you lose something, or it's hard when you have to let something or someone go. But all is not lost. So whenever that five of coins came out earlier, kind of indicating lack, it's like I said, lack is an illusion. So you may not even be seeing how much of a blessed position that you've been placed in. Especially when things are going bad around you, you tend to not see the advantages of a situation. And I hate to say it like that, especially when you've lost a loved one. I hate to kind of say, there's advantages to that. That's kind of insensitive. But at the same time, if this was somebody who had built up a very nice estate and you are in their inheritance, there is an advantage to it, even though you lost someone in the physical that you care about so much. Um, and you know what? That's another thing too. I feel like through this, for somebody who did lose someone or who did go through a divorce, and you do end up getting some type of compensation or some type of blessing, or you were in a will or something, you get an inheritance, you have not lost that person forever, just in the physical. Because the Two of Cups, I feel like, is a marriage between the physical and the spiritual, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, our higher selves and our earthly selves. And just because they transition from the earthly realm does not mean that they are gone. Y'all will always be together energetically. And I feel like somebody is really kind of leaning on that. You're depending on that to get you through that rough phase of them being gone out of the physical. But back to the world, like, basically, you could be thinking, I have to keep living and I have to, be in this world without that person, and it's hurting. But what that person taught you, or the experiences y'all had together, you still have that. you know, and it's really all putting you in a good position. You have to know that everything that happens to you is all a part of your journey, and it's only making you stronger. Just like we had up here that Chariot and strength, and that Four of Coins, kind of symbolizing what you hold on to. It's only going to make you stronger if you hold on to the good times and hold on to the lessons that you learned with that person, or with that, for those who I'm feeling like have lost a loved one, or who have divorced from someone and it's like really painful. You just have to hold on to the good lessons that you learned from it. In that 11th card position, we have the Emperor. Now, for some who were going through that ugly divorce and it was painful, and you had a friend who has been by you through thick and thin, you could have another husband lying in wait. I am not telling you to rush, but the Emperor indicates that some people will move on fast. They will move on quickly. Those who've lost a loved one, that inheritance could set you up to be able to go ahead and jumpstart your business. For those who have lost a job, or who have lost a home, lost their material stability, something is changing fast. What you've learned through the dark times, or through the harsh times, or through that downtime, is how to hustle. The Emperor is the hustler. The Emperor can go and sell salt to a snail. You know, they can sell a hot pepper hot sauce. That is that type of energy. I feel like with the Emperor, it's like there's really nothing that they can't conquer here. Now, it could be you that's embodying that energy, or it could be the person that you're dealing with. One of your friends is kind of helping you in that aspect. Maybe they're helping you to flip money that you receive from an inheritance, or help you to invest wisely money you may be getting, like alimony, that type of situation, or your separation package, or whatever you have saved up since you were let go from your job or during the shutdown. Whatever you have saved up, you could have somebody in your circle who is helping you to wisely invest that, or to be able to multiply that. or quickly, build upon something. With that, we have the Three of Staffs here, which is calling something in, creating something, making something happen. So again, that's just reinforcing that energy that I was talking about around the Emperor. And then we have the Moon, which is a major arcana card. Now we just had that Leo full moon at 0 degrees. And Leos tend to be pretty good, pretty good business people. They like nice stuff and they like to splurge and spend and be generous, but it's because they have it. You know, the Leos, you see that, they buy out the bar and they take all their friends out and they carry the tab. It's because they got it. They can spend it like that. Because please believe, if the Leo didn't have it, they're not spending a dime on you. So yeah, um, with that Leo full moon, that could be some energy here that's popping off. Some unexpected beginnings and you moving fast. In the direction of prosperity, or the hustle popping off pretty fast. After whatever energy or whatever inheritance or increase that you received after a loss. Now, yeah, Emperor, Three of Staffs, the Moon. I'm sorry, y'all. They showing out. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. But yeah, I don't want to short y'all on y'all's reading because this is pretty good here. Y'all, please keep it down.
People stand in my face.
Okay. You have the Emperor, the Three of Staffs, the Moon card. I also feel like whatever happens, it could be unexpected. Like you don't even realize how things are about to pop off for you and how quickly, because you could have friends that are in high places that help you out, or you could have, like I said, friends that know how to hustle and help you get you onto something. You could have started your own business and you could have friends who are referring you. And word of mouth is the most powerful, way of marketing. So yeah, just looking at my live chat, Maria, I have information for you to get a personal reading in the description of my videos, or if you have a specific question, you can use super chat to make some type of offering, and I will pull some cards for you depending on what you give. But yeah, um, with that card is just basically saying that a lot of unexpected things can happen, can pop off for you, and like I said up here, blessing, somebody watching you, somebody wanting to help you out is right on top of this energy here of you calling in something major, especially business like, or if it's like a romance or a husband, a protector, a provider. You're calling that in pretty quickly based off of somebody who could have been your friend and who helped you while you were going through, just like we talked about up here. That soulmate energy that came through over here with the Two of Cups. Somebody that stood by you while you were going through something. And they're gonna make it official too. It ain't gonna be no old bullshit. They'll come with some action, some definite action, if it is that storyline that you resonate with. Now, right here in the last card position, it's all about what you have overcome, the lesson that has been learned, the thing that has been conquered. And this is restriction. It's restriction. It's feeling imprisoned or feeling trapped, feeling like life has you down, and you know nothing is looking up. You're battling that. You're conquering that. An end is coming to that. That's another ending that's happening for you. The Judgment confirms that. Judgment is the end of a cycle. It's like, what, it's over, it's said, it's done. There is an end to restriction. There's an end to lack. There's an end to the hard times. There's an end to you being mentally ridden with hurtful thoughts or negative energy. It's like, okay, this is time to move forward. And I feel like this is going to be a personal call on your behalf. It's like the moment when you decide, bam, I want this. The moment you decide that I'm going to look at everything that has happened, and what I'm going to take from it is the things that will never end. I'm not going to let that person's legacy die. I'm not going to let this person that I lost, I'm not going to let their legacy die. Or I'm going to take what I learned from a hurtful divorce or separation as far as a relationship, I'm going to take that with me, and I'm going to build upon what I learned here. And I'm going to make better decisions. And I'm going to focus in a direction that fulfills me and that, benefits me from now on. For some people, who've lost a job, I'm going to take these skills that I learned from this job and I'm going to apply it to my business and flourish. Or I'm going to take it into a new company and, secure an even better position. It's that type of energy. So basically, anything that you felt like, any place in life where you felt like you were just down for the count, where you felt like that, it was that tower moment up here that I was talking about. You felt like it really took you out. And for a moment, you were just in a bad place in life. It's like, that's over. When I decide it's over, the moment I decide it's over, that's when I move forward into this energy of wealth, of health, of financial stability, of, generational, stability, of generational wealth, of wealth building, of legacy building. You move into that energy there. So Sagittarius, I'm really happy to hear that. A lot of it will have to do with work. So a lot of that will be people who lost something, lost a job, some, got hours cut back. You're going through this government shutdown and don't know if you're going to be continue being able to make ends meet if this thing drags out any longer. I feel like things may not look like they're looking up for you, but you continue to carry your responsibilities as best as you can, and don't allow any pressures to turn you into a hard person, because I ultimately do feel like through all of this there's a humility that you're able to learn from this, and it's making you a more spiritually abundant person. Your vibrations are becoming higher because you're learning to be patient and tolerant and motivational to others. Through all of this, you can actually encourage others to get through their own situations, and it's all going to work for your favor. It's all going to work out to your good. So that's been your reading for January 2019. If you see it in February, hey, it's still for you, Sagittarius. This is still, a storyline that is meant for you if it resonates in any way. Like I said earlier in the reading, if you want a private to get more details on how a situation will unfold for you in these uncertain times, then, check me out in the description box. Also, if you catch me during a live stream, you feel welcome to, donate something, put something in the super chat and ask your question, and I'll go ahead and just give you an answer right here on live. And, for the most part, all of my lives will be saved. I just deleted that other one because it was such a janky reading, and I'm so sorry, Sagittarius. But yeah, everything is gonna work out for your good. Just know that. It's like it's set up here at the very top with these guidance cards. You may be going through an ending for something, but know that you are spiritually protected and new beginnings are in front of you. You just have to release the old so that the new can enter. And I feel like you will be pleasantly surprised by the newness that comes to you. So I am your Empress Divine. I thank you for watching and hope you all have a great rest of January. I'll see you in February. Bye.